Hey guys and girls, it's the 10th episode! I went all the way to making 10 of these. All I got for it was this lousy t-shirt. Welcome to the 1 Minute Rundown. I'm Octrinity, your host, and if you knew where to look, you might have known this is a viewer's choice episode. So based on your suggestions, this time we're running down Monkey Island. This is a visual novel series by LucasArts following the adventures of pirate wannabe Guybrush Threepwood, where he'll get into some sort of adventure that'll involve the undead pirate LeChuck, love interest in action girl Governor Elaine Marley, a few tropical islands and a lot of their associated tropes, and a whole lot of comedy. Back in the early days of PC gaming, it was a classic adventure game whose primary gameplay just involved selecting dialogue trees and finding out how to use or interact with your environment or whatever you're holding. In short, it's one of the earliest games that's more about telling a story. I actually played these games for the first time specifically for this review, but only had enough time to cover 2 of them, and as the video suggests, this is going to be based on the recent special edition re-release. So let's take a look. Let's start with the story. It manages to be interesting enough to finish out, but it isn't particularly memorable outside of the jokes, but hey, that describes a lot of popular comedy movies, so no big loss there. I mean, there's a lot of genuinely funny moments, including characters that act as far away from what you'd expect, and a lot of items used in unexpected ways. And there's at least some level of multilinearity in the story, at least as far as several events could happen in different orders, though the end result is still the same. But the fact is, there's not a whole lot of game here, at least not in the traditional sense. About all you're doing is moving Guybrush to his destinations, deciding his interactions. It's really just a matter of figuring out the right thing to say or do to advance the plot and little more, and sometimes there's some frustration when it's hard to tell what can be targeted, especially when there's multiple clickable items on the same object. The closest thing we ever get to any win-loss game are a series of insult fights, and again, that just comes down to choosing the right thing to say, and they completely stop happening the moment they stop being relevant. But let's get to the point. I like a good story with my games, but I like a good game to go with it. But at the same time, playing just to see where the next joke was going was enjoyable, and it was worth playing in the end. As far as the sequel goes, in terms of gameplay, there's not much new here. The game's running off the same engine with minimal changes. There is an improved interface that makes it a little easier to tell what you can actually do to an object or person, but that's about it. On the other hand, it seems to be compensating for this by making some of the solutions to some puzzles pretty obscure, and some really feel like they shouldn't be so narrow with their solutions. Just to cite one example, if I'm trying to swap one drink for another, it really shouldn't matter where I'm dumping the first one. And there's a few interruptions and diversions that feel like their only real purpose is to lengthen the game. On the story side of things, it starts off slow, but gets better as the game goes on, including getting much more bizarre in the end, just all setting away for one of the worst twist endings in recent memory, one that I'm still trying to wrap my head around how that could actually work. But again, though, you're getting pretty much the same thing as last time, just with a different storyline and jokes, one that I'd rank only slightly weaker than the last game. But just like last time, if you're looking for a funny story, this will be relevant to your interests. And that's the review. Now this is only about half the series, as there were 3 games following this, and like I said before, these 2 are somewhere between graphical update and remake, so here's what the original games looked like. Who knows, maybe we'll see some special editions of some of the other games later on too. As for a 6th game, I'd put the chances as reasonably high. The last outing was in 2009, but it was developed by another veteran of visual novel games, Telltale, so it's possible it could get passed around some between developers. Of course, if you liked either of these games, LucasArts has several similar games from the 90s that you might like, Full Throttle and Grim Fandango being among the most well-known. Check back in a couple weeks for the next episode of 1 Minute Rundown. I might need these shorter episodes to keep my schedule in check, so next time we'll cover another 2-game series from the 90s with a heavy emphasis on story. See you then! Also, look behind you! A 3-headed monkey! Hello?
Hey, how's it going? This is the producer.
Oh, hey. Why have we not met before already?
I'm usually busy.
Don't worry about it, it's cool.
I'm just calling to congratulate you on your 10 videos.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, man. It's been fun so far.
Yeah, we were thinking about canceling, but we're going to continue.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear. Hoping you have some good suggestions for next time.
We're thinking of a few.
All right, well, just email me when you have them, I guess. But to be honest, there is one thing that I don't get.
What's that?